are live. What is going on? Good morning, good people on YouTube. It is me, Chavez. I am back. You are back. Together we are back for another day, another week, a brand new month. First week of the new month. Welcome player props here on the stream. Welcome to another live stream. NBA player props live with me, Chris Chavez. That is my first name. Hope everybody's doing well. I hope as long as you're doing well, and I hope your weekend went well. I hope all your player props fit. We all know we don't live in that kind of world where all of our, hopefully a lot of them, majority of them, we're going to get into our turd today here in a minute. Talk about some plays of the day. We'll go injury news to the NBA. A lot of names on injury this morning, so definitely something to talk about as we dive into another day of the NBA. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games today. So a nice little slice of NBA today. Break down. So we'll get into your Q&A as well. So if you're new to the team, what we do, we talk player props. We go over a lot of an hour and change. We go over a lot. First time here, welcome. I appreciate you being here. Like on your way in, means a ton. You are a repeat offender. Welcome back. Hit that like button anyway. Means a ton. Means a ton from whoever those likes come from. So, what's going on, Terry? Good morning, Gilbert. Good morning, JR. What is going on? Good morning. New week, new month, new money. I agree. All of those. All of those things. Not often we can say new week, new month, new day, right? We can say new week, new day, but all that's happening today in this week. So I'm ready to get going and start digging into the slate. I got some plays that I like. If you are over in the Discord and you saw my early this morning, I was able to run right up in there. Really like Anthony Davis today. Wrote him up a little bit more in depth, but I got quite a few plays channel in the Discord. So if you want more plays out, but in this stream, what we do here, we break things down in depth. More value, more. So your coffee ready, your tea, whatever you're drinking. Let's get this going. What's going on, DF the God? Boo, what is going on? Good morning, yeah, Carrie. These lines are bumping. A lot of the plays that I wrote up earlier this morning, I was crossing my fingers that they weren't bumping before I got to post them. Once I post them to the Discord, they were still cool. I haven't done that yet to see if there's been any bump, but I fully 100% expect a lot of those plays to get bumped up because of the injury news that we'll be getting into here in just a moment. So, as we always do, we start off with this interesting yet factual statement with Google search. Over 10% of the population dies in their sleep every day. We are part of that 90%, so hashtag blessed. We have nothing else to say for thankful today. Just be thankful that you woke up. Shed some light on that. You always hear people say that. Just be thankful you woke up. Well, just know that a lot of people don't. There's your stat. 10% of the U.S. population. Over 10% of the U.S. population. Kind of a morbid way to start the stream. I understand that, but it's all uphill from here. All smiles and good vibes from here. Probably morbid. Hopefully, this is the most morbid thing you hear all day. And the rest of the day is fantastic. All right, let's get into our first of the weekend. Really, I got one for you. Somebody I wrote up yesterday in the Discord. Prop I was really over on. Got 2 of those props. Neither of them hit. And that's just the one Tyrese forgot how to shoot the basketball and make 3-pointers. Halliburton, who was open to 3, who didn't do anything, didn't even get 20 PRA, I believe. Maybe he finished with 20 PRA per game. It was well under those props. It's really unfortunate because the matchup was there against the Spurs. Fast-paced matchup, just the kind of matchup on the attack. And Halliburton show up, and he looked really bad. Honestly, a couple games where he did look okay. Ever since returning from injury and getting full minutes, he has not looked the same. So I don't know what's going on there. I really don't. I'm not the coach, I'm not the doctor. All I know is that his props are not hitting. So he's my turd of the week. what say you? What are your turds of the weekend? Anybody had a Golden State Warrior turd, even though PrizePicks beat those? Anybody got a Golden State Warriors turd that threw their slipped off? Turn Lamb down. What's going on, Ruben? Oh, hold on, guys. I'm sorry. There you go. There you go. Had the music way too loud. Had the music way too loud. All right. Yeah, man. It happens from time to time. It probably happens once a week, honestly. I forget to turn the music down. Anywho, turds of the day. Tyrese Halliburton. That's my turd of the weekend. I think that Warriors game was a turd. Getting beat by 50 points. I know the Celtics are good, but damn, not that good, right? Not that good to be up by 50 going into the fourth. I don't think anybody hit value on the Warriors. So, turds of the day. JR says, Anthony Davis, Saturday night, 15 at the half, finishes with 17. You're talking about points or his PRA? What did you play for him? We talked about LeBron James also, taking the over on LeBron James points in the first half because of the record. I never thought about PrizePicks doing a like a promo for it though. I should have known better. But yeah, that promo hit obviously. So if you play that first half promo for LeBron, then that worked out for you. But yeah, AD finished with 17 points. That's one of those games where it just really pisses you off because you start doing the math and you're like 15 at the half, he's gonna have 30 on the game, and you start getting all happy because like it's headed in that direction and then it just hits a wall. Totally feel that. Double for Jokic, 35-point game. The entire Dallas team, that's Ruben's turds for falling against Maxey. Yeah, Maxey looked good yesterday. He hasn't looked that great in all these games without Embiid. It's very, very clear that he misses Embiid on the court, but got it done yesterday. 24 points. Tobias Harris has been stepping up last two games. What's good, 6-0? What's going on, man? So we got the Dallas turds. We got Anthony Davis turds. We got Halliburton turds. What else we got? Any other turds for today? Jonathan Kuminga. Yeah. I saw Jonathan Kuminga in there. Did I not? There it is, Carrie. Okay. What's going on, Knuckles? What's going on? Kyle, good morning. Turd of the weekend. Jabari Smith Jr. and D'Angelo Russell. Karl Anthony Towns hooked him on rebounds. Yeah, man. A lot of turds. Yeah, I don't think there's a bigger turd than just like the Golden State Warriors laying an egg. I think Halliburton comes in a close second, though. He's been on a real cold streak, and I love attacking players when they're on cold streaks or in a little slump because it's not going to last forever. And if you play it on the right day, then you're going to get a good line, a very good low line. But we move on. Turds of the day. Quite a few. Hopefully today we don't have too many turds in our way. Hopefully we get some good plays, we make some profit, and we rinse and repeat. All right, injury news in the NBA. Appreciate y'all sharing the turds of the day. If you're new to the channel, turds of the day, just a bad play, a player prop that made you got you a little mad. Maybe you ruined your slip, maybe it cost you some money. Maybe the performance was just so god awful that you had to go throw up in the restroom or something like that. That's a turd right there. All right, injury news right now. Injury news is pretty short, but we got some big names on the injury news. So let's start with players who are already ruled out. We got Larry Markkinen ruled out. So fully expect John Collins lines to bump if they haven't already. Cam Thomas is ruled out. Zaire Williams and Walker Kessler, which should mean a lot of extra usage for John Collins. And his name escapes me. There is just a backup in Utah that kind of cock blocks Walker Kessler when I pick him, and I didn't even know this dude existed until I played Walker Kessler one night, and I just kept seeing this dude's name pop up in the box score. Taylor Hendricks, that's him. Doubtful. Jaren Jackson remains doubtful. Jeremy Grant, he didn't return from Saturday's game. He looks like he'll sit out this game. And then we got some questionable tags. We got Giannis questionable versus the Clippers. You have LeBron, De'Aaron Fox, Ayton. That's a big one for Portland. Ben Simmons, Matisse Thybulle, and Alex Caruso. So again, not a long list of names, but just some pretty big names on the list. Keep your eyes out for. So injury news, it's all done. It's all wrapped up, and we move on. So as I've been saying, you know, PrizePicks is removing a lot of their services from different states. If you happen to be in a state where PrizePicks is leaving, then I encourage you to link up with me. Let's link up. You need a player. You need a pick'em site link. You need a sportsbook link. You're looking for something to supplement your PrizePicks fix that you won't have access to. I got BetMGM, DraftKings, FanDuel, Bet365, obviously Underdog, JOCKMKT. All this information is available in the description of this stream, so you can find all this information there. So again, keep these in mind if you are looking for an alternate place to play and rage and profit. Keep these links in mind because you got some really good bets, especially this BetMGM bet 5 to get 150 in bonus bets. That is a pretty strong bet. And so a lot of these sports books are competing, especially with the news of the North Carolina news. So a lot of these sports books are competing with one another for the business of the residents in North Carolina. So you have your fair share of options there, no doubt. All right, shameless plugs done. Actually, no, one more shameless plug. We're about to get into our player props for the morning, as we always do. We reference props.cash. Props.cash is what we use to break down all our player props on the stream and all of my videos. If you have any interest in using props.cash for your own research and needs, that's my promo code on the screen. You'll get 25% off your first month. Pretty sweet deal. If you've never seen it in action, stick around. We're going to use props.cash throughout the entire stream to break down all of our plays. So without further delay, let's transition over to the PrizePicks dashboard. Let's pull that up and let's start looking at this board, and let's start figuring out what stands out. Where do we want to go? Who do we want to put in our slips? And this is the portion of the stream where you get to ask your question. Throw a player prop in the chat. I'll try to take one from each person. If you throw multiple player props in there, I will take the first one from the group. Ask to be kind to everybody else. Make sure everybody gets a turn. And if we got enough time, if we get enough time, I'll come back and you can put another player prop in there. But just to be fair to everybody else. All right. First prop I see on the board. I think the first prop I see on the board here. ATM, what's going on, man? I see this Fox over assists, Bagley over rebounds. Is there one over the other you like more? I'm going to take the Fox over assists, although I do like that Bagley rebounds, but I can see I thought I saw that it got bumped from 8.5 to 9. So let's take a look at Fox's assist, sitting at 5.5. Encore. Ruben also likes. I tell you what, then, since Ruben likes this Fox 9.5 rebounds and assists. It's been bumped up to 10. Let's look at the Fox rebounds and assist. We can also look at his assist on props.cash, and then I'll take that Bagley rebound prop for you, ATM, and then that'll knock those two out. Oh, no. I saw his rebounds and assists got bumped up to 9. So his rebounds are still at 7. All right, cool. JR says, after watching Nurkic look like Wilt Chamberlain last night and after his terrible performance Saturday, play of the day, Anthony Davis over 42 PRA. All right, we're going to Anthony Davis. His points are still at 25.5. I did write this up in the Discord. I do like this play for a few different reasons. Let's look at his PRA, though. If we link, you grillin'. Everyone on John Collins rebounds over. Yeah, 6-0. I think it's going to be a very popular play today with Larry Markkinen being ruled out and Walker Kessler being ruled out, but also you're going to get it at a higher line. I think this is the highest we've seen his rebounds maybe this year, definitely over the last couple of weeks. It is a very popular play. 10,500 people have this in their slip. I'm assuming they're playing the over on this one. Yeah. This morning, I did put him in the cheat sheet. I did like his rebounds and points when they were at 26.5. This has been bumped up to 27. Yeah, they're not wasting any time. GMAC, what's going on, GMAC? Good morning to you. Likes Taylor Hendricks. I just got through talking about this guy. Now he's getting now he should have some light shined on him today. He should get some extra playing time, some increased usage without Markkinen and without Kessler in the lineup. So let's take a look at his 16 PR is what you want to take a look at. First time, I believe, seeing this dude on the board, though. Let's see. Paul George points 19.5. Yeah. JR, March 11th. So a lot of these sports books are doing the pre-reg, trying to get you in now, locking in those bonus bets, locking in that, the promos right now. And they're all competing for, not like you can't play on multiple sites, right? But you're going to get, probably this is the best time if you're a North Carolina resident to jump into that, because you probably are going to get thousands of dollars in promo bets, So good time, no doubt. DeRozan, 27 PA, 6-0 DeMar DeRozan points and assists over. All right, we're getting some DeRozan love here. Let's see. I missed. I don't think I got one in from Carrie. Yeah, so Carrie has a NHL play of the day. Man, Jack Hughes yesterday. I took the over on his assist. Oh, that was probably the out of the few that I missed on my cheat sheet. That was probably the one that I was the most disappointed in. Was Hughes not getting that? Like the under on these 2 shots on goal? All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is our first round of player props. We're going to take these props. We're going to head over to props.cash, where we're going to use the resources there to just break everything down. I have no dog in any of these fights. I'm breaking everything down. I always try to be as partial as I can be. However, if a play just stands out and it's a good play, then we're going to make a case for it. So let's head over to props.cash. Let's start breaking these down. We got De'Aaron Fox, Rebounds and assists, Bagley rebounds, Anthony Davis, 42.5 PRA. Taylor Hendricks, points for Paul George, and Dmitry Voronkov under shots on goal. We're going to knock out this NHL play first because it is the only NHL play we have on the board. And then the rest of the plays are NBA plays. So we'll get this one up on the screen. So right now we got Dmitry Voronkov at -160 over 1.5 shots on goal. So obviously this one's been bumped up to 2. Over his last 10 games, you can see what he's done in terms of his shots on goal. He's averaging 2.3. Over his last 5, 2.6. Not showing any history for him versus the Vegas Knights. When we take a look at his projection is just 0.79. So he's getting really bad projections on a really good odds. This has been bumped up to 2. So we can take a look at the other books at 1.5. So heavy juice coming in on the over at 1.5, but at 2, I'm not sure what that would be. I think those projections are a little bit off, to be honest with you. I wouldn't solely look at projections and say that's how I'm going to choose my player props, but it does give you some insight. But over his last 10 games, he's definitely gone over this in more games than not. The bump, does impact the odds. I'm sure at some point today the odds will be adjusted to reflect that. But at 2, it's kind of a good idea to take the unders on bumps, especially in hockey, where you're already getting a pretty low line on something. It's not like NBA where a person can just take as many shots as they want, basically. So this one does make sense to me, playing the under on the bump. Or you can just ignore it, or you can find it at 1.5 and play the over at 1.5. If you play this on any of these books down here, BetMGM, DraftKings, FanDuel, that would be your best bet for the over. Or you can just simply take the under on the 2 that we're seeing right now in PrizePicks. So there is Dmitry Voronkov. We're going to head over to the NBA, where we got 5 player props to break down. And we're going to start in the Clippers in Milwaukee game. I want to take a look at Paul George's points. Paul George is not usually somebody I look at personally. I can never seem to get this guy on the right night. But let's take a look at what he's done over his last 10 games. 3 games he's gone over this point prop. Last 5 games he's gone over it in 2. Head-to-head games with the Bucks. No games this year to speak of. So we could take a look at that, but not put too much weight into that. Odds are pretty split, 113 to each side. There's not a whole lot of juice coming into either side. He is projected for the over by the slightest of numbers, 0.1, going over that points prop. You take a look at the odds. Odds should give you a better idea of where what people are really thinking about this. So FanDuel does have it at 113. DraftKings likes the over on this one a lot. Caesars is on the same page as FanDuel, and BetMGM is giving you a little bit more juice to the over. This one has been bumped up to 120. At least that's what it's showing on PointsBet. It's possible this gets bumped up today. But there's Paul George. Russell Westbrook is out with that fractured hand. So if you want to take a look at games played without Westbrook, that's what he's done in last 10 games. Only 1 game has been this year, though. The rest of these games are last season. They're still relevant because both of these dudes played on the Clippers last season. They were both there. It's not like it's showing games that George played without Westbrook and Westbrook wasn't even on the team last year. This is still somewhat relevant, but we do want to see more games this season for a better sample size. But last 10 games, he's gone over this in 60% of those games without Russell Westbrook. Games played against the Bucks without Westbrook, not really changing. Pretty low number, though, for Paul George. 19.5. We're usually seeing his numbers at like 21, 22 points. Getting it under 20 it feels kind of low, to be honest with you. Yeah. All right, Paul George. I like these points. The more I look at them at these odds, and then knowing that Westbrook is out, I don't think Westbrook cuts into his usage too much, but that bench gets a little weaker. Maybe the more usage is going to be needed from the starters in this game, putting Paul George in a better spot to go over. All right, no Portland, Minnesota props. Washington, Utah. Who are the other games from? Let's look at De'Aaron Fox's assist and rebounds and assists. So let's start with his assist. Sitting at 5.5. 3 games against the Bulls, he's gone under this in all 3 games. One of those games this season, just a few weeks ago. About a month ago, actually. Now, what he's done over his last 10 games when he's not playing Chicago, he has gone over this line in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those games, and he has a 5-game hit streak of getting you 6 or more assists here. So, pretty good stuff for De'Aaron Fox. Chicago, amongst the bottom teams in the league at assists allowed per game, and then when you take a look at his assist projection, it is projected closer to 7 than it is to 6. Take a look at his rebounds and assists. You see that he has gone over this in every game over the last 5 games, giving you 13 or more. And the same exact hit rate, 70% over his last 10. Same exact hit rate against the Chicago Bulls, though, where this game he's not getting you the over. But he does have one game a couple years ago. It's a little too far back to look at. Outside of his game logs versus Chicago, everything does look good. The odds look really good on his rebounds and assists if you can still get them at 9.5. Projections are really high. 13 projected for 13 rebounds and assists. Damn. That has a very, very strong projection for him. The books see it pretty much the same way. 5 books, all going over, averaging well over minus 130 towards the over on all these books. So his rebounds and assists and his rebounds, they're both in play for sure. Let's take a look at DeMar DeRozan's points. I believe it was DeRozan's points that were asked about. Even though I didn't put them on the board, they were right there. Let's just quickly take a look at his points since we're in the same game. We could say that he has gone over this in 80% of his games, over his last 10, over his last 3 meetings with the Kings. He's gone over in 2 out of 3, including this one, which was played about a month ago. And then over his last 5 games, he's gone over this in 3 out of 5 games. Projected for just 22 points today. You can see that Sacramento's defense is allowing quite a few points per game. Odds do not like this at 23.5. They like it at 20. Well, actually, they don't at all. Odds don't like this play too much. You're getting more juice to the under than you are to the over in this one. So you have game logs that are positive. You have history versus this team that's positive, but you're not getting positive odds, and you're getting slightly below projections here. If PRA was another one for DeRozan that you were looking at, you're getting slightly better odds on this one. 2 out of his last 5, he's gone over. He's gone over this in 6 out of his last 10. Head-to-head games, 2 out of 3. Projection on his PRA is at 32.76, so closer to 33, that's exactly what he needs. And then in terms of your odds, you're getting really, really strong odds on BetMGM, giving you minus 145 at 31.5. So that's your low line. 110 on PointsBet, minus 139 on Caesars, minus 125 on DraftKings, and minus 120 on FanDuel. So I think his PRA is definitely in play. If you feel like that number's too high and you want to go with a lower number, then I think your points would be your next best bet for DeMar DeRozan. Let's go back up to this Washington-Utah game because I forgot we had 2 players in this game I just completely skipped over. Let's take a look at Marvin Bagley's rebounds, sitting at 7.5 right now versus the Utah Jazz. Against the Jazz, not great numbers. I believe all these games, these were games as a Piston. You know, he was buried behind Duren and Stewart and all sorts of players on that team. And in Washington, he's getting like a new lease on life, so to speak. So over his last 10 games, you can see that he has gone over this line in 70%. And then over his last 5 games, all 5 of these games were as a Wizard. He's playing very well as a Wizard in terms of grabbing rebounds. You're getting positive odds or more juice to the over on this one than you are to the under. However, Utah doing a great job at defending the glass over the course of the season. However, we got to take into account the injury news. So no Markkanen tonight and no Walker Kessler. Projected for 8 rebounds today. So that's what you need for him to get over that 7.5. And then odds are pretty good across the board. Well, actually, FanDuel's giving you the best odds. PointsBet is kind of stuck in the middle where BetMGM, Caesars, and DraftKings are giving you a little juice to the over, but for the most part, they do like the under for Marvin Bagley today. So depending on where you're playing this, you're going to see odds kind of fluctuate. FanDuel is giving you the best line at -122. Let's take a look at Taylor Hendricks. I think we're going to look at his points and rebounds today because of the injury news. He should get a lot of usage today. In fact, let's take a look at what his minutes have been like over the last 5 games. He is averaging 27 minutes. I don't know if you see a minutes increase for him. He's already getting pretty close to 30 unless they decide to get him over 30. So that's good news because I don't think his minutes go down because of this injury news. They can only go up. And if they stay the same, then you know that he's getting you close to 30. And when he does that, he's doing pretty good things. 3 out of the last 5 games, he's gotten you the over. He hooked it here. And then over his last 10 games. So you're seeing a huge difference in his playing, in his production over the last 5 games. We take a look at his minutes. Typically, when you see such a lopsided view of production, the minutes are at the core of that. So when you have low minutes, it's very difficult for you to get into the flow of the game, especially when you're not a top option on the team. But then you can see this huge difference in minutes. You can also see the huge difference in production. So as long as his minutes are there, I think his points and rebounds are definitely in play. -128 to the over. When you take a look at that on FanDuel, DraftKings has this right in the middle. Caesars likes the over. BetMGM loves the over. PointsBet likes the over. You can see that Hendricks is projected for 11.6 points, 7.6 rebounds, giving him a total of 19.26 points and rebounds today. So I think that's a really good line. Get it at 16.5. I think that's a very strong number for Taylor Hendricks. All right, last play. Let's talk about. I almost called him DeAnthony Davis. Why did I almost call him DeAnthony Davis? Anthony Davis, PRA. We're looking at the over 42.5 after coming off that disappointing night on Saturday. He's in a good spot today against the OKC Thunder. So 4 games out of his last 10, he has gone over this. 1 out of his last 5. But head-to-head, this is what really stood out to me when I was looking at his points and writing up his points this morning. 4 out of the last 5 games, but 3 of those games were this season. And he's giving you 47, 44, and 47 in those 3 games against the Thunder. When we take a look at his projections, 26 points, which is over 25.5 points. So you're still getting it at a good place. And it's a lower line on PrizePicks, which is not always the case. PRA is projected for right at 42. Looking at his odds on his PRA, you can see that BetMGM has it at 41. So if you can find it at 41, play it at 41. PointsBet likes it at -120. Caesars likes it at -119. DraftKings likes the under on this one at -120. And FanDuel thinks this is slightly for the under. I love his history against OKC. I don't think they have anybody on that team that can keep him from scoring, keep him from getting the over on this one. And you could also look at it in terms of a bounce back game for Anthony Davis, where we've really seen his play decline over the last few games. But also keep in mind, I mean, LeBron's chasing records last 3 games. We already knew what that was about. Is it possible that the focus is now off LeBron a little bit and AD kind of picks up some of that? I don't know. Does LeBron even sit tonight? Keep your eye on that. But I do like the over on his 42.5 PRA. I do like the over on his points, so long as we're getting them at 25.5, because at 25.5, you can see that his odds on DraftKings are -135, -145, and -140 on BetMGM to go over his points. So I like Anthony Davis for a couple of different props. All right. First round of player props done. We like the over De'Aaron Fox. We talked about, did we talk about De'Aaron Fox? Yeah, we did. That was the first one we talked about. Been bumped up to 10. You can still play it at 10. Remember, it's a bump, so you're not going to get the values you were going to get with the 9.5, but he still needs 10 at 9.5. He can give you the push at 10, but now he needs 11, officially 11 to go over. Like the Bagley over rebounds, despite some of the odds liking the under, we got to keep in mind the front court for the Jazz is going to be a little different today. Davis over his PRA. Hendricks is a really strong play. I think this is a bit of a sleeper. Paul George, I think a 19.5 is a little low for him. We like the over on that one. Performs really well without Westbrook in the lineup. And then we have Dmitry Voronkov under his shots on goal. So what we do here, we screenshot these plays. I throw them in the Discord so that way you can use them as a reference. That way you don't have to reach out and say, who are your favorite players today? I need one more for a 4 pick. You can just go and look at all the player props that I screenshotted and say, all right, I'm going to take that one. And know that these have all been researched on live. So you know that they have been backed up by good research and good researching tools. So there you go. Round 1 done. We move on to a second round, and I got to figure out where we left off. I need to make sure I'm saying hi to everybody in the chat. If you just joined the chat, welcome in. If you just joined the stream, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Hit the like button on your way in. Let's see. I think that was the one. Good morning. What's going on, Maurice? Good morning to you. Links, what is good? Good morning to you. Divine, what's going on? Sounds like I'm in a toilet bowl. Really? And my sound is really messed up today. Earlier, I had the music too loud, so I'm not sure what's going on now. I'm not sure why my sound is bad now. I guess I just got to keep blaming AT&T Wi-Fi. I'm not sure what's going on. All right. Carrie says, I would never bet on assists on NHL again because they sold me in the past. They are so hard to get. They're so hard to get, and yet there are so many lines that grade out positively when you're looking at all the information. There's so many assist lines that grade out like -130, -145 to the over, and so they're really easy to put into your slip, and you feel like you're playing a good line and it's positive, positive EV, and then they don't hit. And so you wonder how good of a damn player was to begin with. Kyle Burke said, yeah, Fox is a game time decision. So Fox is on the queue list right now. So if he doesn't play, if he sits, then scrap everything we just talked about for De'Aaron Fox. Let's see. Maurice says Caruso over 10 points and assist. Colin Sexton under his points. Let's take a look at Caruso. Now, Caruso is questionable also, but you like the over on his 10 points. So you like the over on his Demon play of 10.5 points. Let's take a look at that. Yep, I agree, G-Mac. A lot of room to wiggle for Taylor Hendricks today. Link says, we thinking about Rudy under PR. He usually he tends to not do so well on back-to-backs. We'll take a look at the under on his rebounds for sure, and then we'll take a look at his PR all at the same time. Knuckles likes Kuzma over PRA. Kuzma has really been playing pretty well over the last few games. This road trip, this West Coast road trip for him, hasn't been too bad. And he gets to play Utah. Didn't he go to Utah? Did he play at Utah? Or am I making that up? Utah State? Utah? Maybe I'm making that up. What's good, Damian? Good morning to you. Damian's hot streak continues to grow in the Discord. He continues to rack up wins over in the Discord. Carrie says, play of the day is a CS2 play. Yeah, if you guys have your plays of the day already, throw them in the chat. I'll get them down so I don't forget. But it's a CS2 play. Kisserick over 27 map. 1-2 kills. Says there's a two point sportsbook difference at 29. So those are good. You start getting these nice little discrepancies across the books. You can really find some value, especially in these sports where they're still fairly new to the market. Like esports is growing, but it's not on the level of the major sports yet. So sometimes these lines they're just not right. Carrie says, Alex is curious to me with all those bumps. The bumps on top of his head, or like bumps in terms of player props being bumped? 8 under 28.5 PRA. All right, what do we got? So we got Rudy under, Caruso over, Kuzma over. Ayton is also on the Q tag list, so let's keep our eyes open for that. Looks like we have a little room to add a couple of plays that, for those of y'all who had a couple of different player props, let's throw Colin Sexton in there under his points. Getting a lot of unders today. I love it. Oh, gotcha. Player props being bumped. All right. Well, hopefully the sound is better. This round of player props, didn't know that the sound was off. Maybe I need to sit closer to the mic, but it's on. Everything is lit up, ready to roll. So hopefully you all can hear me. We got 5 player props on the board. Let me just make sure I didn't miss. Anything. I think I got them all. All right, I think I got them all. Oh, there's Carrie. I didn't see your Cam Johnson under PA. Let's throw that one in there too. Let's throw that one in there under his PA, points and assist. We got a lot of unders. I think this is the most unders we've had in one round. 1, 2, 3, 4 unders. All right. Off we go. Round 2. Player props. We are going to break down over on props.cash. So we're going to start in this Memphis Brooklyn game. Let's take a look at Cam Johnson's points and assist. And let's pull up. Well, we're already on the head-to-head games versus the Grizz. So PrizePicks has this at 19.5. So you are already seeing a line difference. FanDuel's the only one that has it at 18.5. So if you really wanted to play an under or over on him, you can find it on FanDuel. But FanDuel and PointsBet. But the other 3 books have this at 19.5. So 19.5 is what we got it on PrizePicks. It's what we see it on the other books. BetMGM is giving you really heavy juice to the over on this one, while Caesars and DraftKings see it more towards the under. But let's take a look at this at 19.5. 2 games against the Grizz. 1 game about 8 days ago. He did not go over on this one. Oof, last 2 games he has gone over, but man, 8 straight games of just not good games at all for this dude. Brooklyn is messy. Brooklyn has a lot of players there, and they keep adding more bodies. People are getting healthier. Like Day'Ron Sharp is back. You got Dennis Schroeder in the mix. You got DSJ coming off the bench. You got a lot of guys that kind of do the same shit. They all kind of cancel each other out. It's like the worst case scenario for player props and fantasy value, to be honest. So if you look at the box score, they all have like the same production down the list. So not the best 10 games here at all. Let's look at his last 5. You can already see what that's going to be. 2 out of his last 5. So you're not getting good odds on the or you're not getting good game logs for head-to-head or last 5-10 games. Matchup against the Grizzlies on paper, it's not as good as you think. If these numbers are correct, Grizzlies not giving up a ton of points per game. They're getting blown out in some of these games, but they're not getting blown out like 160 to 110 or something like that. Giving up a fair share amount of rebounds, assists are low per game. Not defending the 3-line pretty all that well over the last few games or over the season. So you do have some cracks in the armor, but for the most part, like we've seen teams with way worse defenses than this. 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists is what he's projected for, giving him a total of 22 PRA, 18.29 PA, and 19.8 PR. All these are projected to go lower than his given line over on PrizePicks. Yeah, I think this one's a good one. Again, if you feel like you want to play the over on it, play it over on PointsBet and FanDuel, where you're getting it at 18.5. Play it at the lowest line possible. That's your best bet. Otherwise, I think the under is definitely in play for Cam Johnson. All right, let's talk about Rudy Gobert. We're going to take a look at the under on his rebounds and then his points and rebounds. And then we'll also take a look at what he does on back-to-backs. We can pull that up over on props.cash. All right, so 4 out of his last 5 games, he has gone over this. None of these are back-to-back games. He's at least 1 day of rest in between these games. 4 out of 5 over his last 10 games. He's gotten you the over in 60%. Head-to-head matchup with the Blazers. Gone over this in 4 out of 5 games. 3 games this season. 1, he did not get that over, but in 2 he did, giving you 17 and 15. We take a look at his projections. He is projected for 13.91. And the odds, a lot of these odds are kind of just like in the middle, kind of like no man's land. FanDuel is giving you the most juice to the under at -128, where DraftKings, BetMGM, and PointsBet all have this at -150 to both sides. Caesars is giving you a little juice to the under, but the odds I wouldn't say are all that great. Unanimously, they're just kind of like average to below average odds. Let's take a look at what he's done on 0 days rest. 2 games against Portland. That's not going to work for us. Over his last 10 games, that's not 0 days rest. What is going on here? What did I select? There you go. Is that 0 days rest? I don't think so. All right. There you go. There looks like there's a lot of rest in between these games. So maybe this is not the best filter to look at, but you can see definitely the odds or the game logs are not as strong as they were when we were looking at them without any filters on. I mean, he's getting you, he's pretty much giving you 10, 11 rebounds, 12 rebounds and on the average, but he's just not going over these games here. So that's a weird stat to look at. I'm gonna take that one off. I feel like that one kind of made things confusing, but we do have odds to look at in terms of the under being in play. And then we do know that The projections like it to, the projections do like it to slightly go over. But again, I think if DeAndre Ayton's out today, I think that does have an impact on Rudy Gobert. It's just one less big in the middle. So if that's the case, I'd be a little hesitant to pull the trigger on the under on his rebounds. But if you take a look at his points and rebounds, we can do that. Points and rebounds looking like this, 27.5 points and rebounds. You can see the over is in favor as he's gone over this in 6 out of his last 10. And he's gone over this in 4 out of his last 5 against the Blazers. 2 out of 3 games this season. Projected for 27.57 PR for Rudy Gobert. I don't know. I know that's a lot of production for him. It's at 28.5. His PRA is 28.5, and then his 27.5. Just want to make sure PrizePicks had it the same. But I don't know. I guess the only thing I would be worried about is DeAndre Ayton if he doesn't play, because then that leaves Jabari Walker and like who else? Duop Reith. Matisse Thybulle. I don't know if these guys are like pulling in minutes at the center position, but Jabari Walker, Duop Reith, Thybulle, Jeremy Grant's also questionable. But just because these guys out doesn't mean they switch the game plan and just make it Rudy Gobert's night, you know? So it's possible that he has a good game, but just not going over these lines. So yeah, I gotta be honest with you. I'm a little undecided on his points and rebounds and his rebounds, but you can look at these odds and make the decision for yourself. Where you're getting favorable odds on BetMGM and FanDuel giving you a little juice, but a lot of juice still going to the under, right? -125, -125, -125. So odds point in the direction of the under on these for Rudy Gobert. He's definitely one of those players that I don't play a lot of his props, but like I'm not always sold on his production. Like he can get phased out so quickly, or he can just grab you 40 rebounds in a game. And I hate those kind of players. I hate targeting those kind of players. All right, we're talking unders. Let's talk about under on Colin Sexton's points, and then we'll talk about the over on Kyle Kuzma's PRA. So let's start with Colin Sexton's points today. Liking the under, or at least we're going to take a look at the under at 22.5 right now. So 21.5 is where you're seeing this over on FanDuel and PointsBet, where BetMGM has it at -120 to that under, even odds at 117 on Caesars, and -130 on DraftKings to the under. So you're getting really, really different odds across the book. 3 games against the Wizards, 1 game being this season, 11 points in that last game. He's only gone over this. Did you know this? Maybe you did. 1 out of his last 9 games, he's gone over this point line. 2 out of those games, he's only gotten you 22 points. The rest of those games are well under. You want to take a look what this game log looks like without Lauri Markkanen? Not that much better. 10 games against the league without Markkanen, he's gone over same amount of games. So not the best game logs with and without Lauri Markkanen. He's doing a lot. He's just not getting a lot of points. He doesn't get you 23 or more very often. 0 for 5 in his last 5. His PRA over his last 5 games has also been a little low. Yeah, so if you're looking at the under for Colin Sexton, I think his points are definitely in play. Despite what the projections say, these game logs are real. Take a look at the odds again. Some juice coming into the under. If you like the over on this, you think that's crazy, he's going to bounce back, then play it on FanDuel and PointsBet where you're going to get a lower line. Don't play it at the higher line. That's crazy. But I actually like the under on that one. It is a little scary taking the under on it, but I think sometimes we think about what the player was doing, used to do, and not what they're currently doing, and that can really skew our decision making here. 10 games, last 10 games, not good. That's just the way it is. All right. Let's take a look at the over on Kyle Kuzma's PRA. Had a pretty tough his road trip against both LA teams, Golden State, and he has just gone out and done a little bit of everything, but enough to get over this line in all three of these games on the West Coast. Numbers against the Jazz. One game this season, he went over with 37 PRA. Okay, last 5 games, he's giving you 80% hit rate. Jazz defense, giving up a ton of points, assists, 3-point production per game. Taking a look at Kuzma's projection, he's projected for 35 PRA. So we just got through talking about a lot of unders, but this over is a good one. It does make sense to me. You're not getting super overwhelming odds to the over on this one, but there's enough juice to each side, or there's enough juice to the over on these books to like it. So minus 120, minus 125, minus 120, minus 122. BetMGM does have this at 34.5. So if you think you want to play the under on this one, play it on BetMGM first. You're going to get the higher line. You're going to get the better value on the under. But this one for Kyle Kuzma does look good. His rebounds have also been shitted on like the last week. Every sharp that I follow likes the under on his rebounds pretty much every game. And at least over the last 5 games, he's come out and just gone over. So I'm done taking the under on his rebounds. I think it's a stupid prop to attack. There are way better lines for him to go with. I'm just going to stay away from his rebounds moving forward and just focus on maybe his PRA and points. But there's Kyle Kuzma. I think that's in a good spot for the over. We were just in that game. We got DeAndre Ayton and Alex Caruso. So let's head back up to Minnesota. DeAndre Ayton is questionable for today's game, but we're going to take a look at some unders for him. So under his PRA at 28.5. Now this one's getting slight juice to the over at minus 120. And that's on BetMGM. Well, Caesars has it similarly priced at that 119, and then DraftKings. So all these are pretty much the same odds if you look at them. He's projected for 30 PRA roughly in games versus the with Timberwolves. He has not done well career-wise, and then just games this season. Gone over once, but man, look at these other games. These are just way out of. He's just done. The race didn't even get started. He just quit before the race started. Over his last 5 games, this is what he's done again, and then over his last 10 games, he has gone over this in 60% of those games. So not the biggest sample size versus Minnesota. So I guess what we can focus on here is Minnesota's front court does give him problems. Minnesota's defense on paper is one of the toughest in the league, if not the toughest in the league. And then you're getting kind of meh odds on this one, and he's questionable. So again, if he plays, he's not 100%, obviously. If you're 100%, then you're not questionable going into a game. But yeah, there's DeAndre Ayton, PRA. It's real easy to look at these projections and say, damn, that's an easy over, but you really do have to dig a little bit deeper. Projections can be they can just vary from site to site. So just make sure that you are paying more attention to some of these other numbers that are, I think they just have more weight to them, like the odds, the game logs. Can't lie about the game logs. He does what he does. It is what it is. All right. Last prop, Caruso. Liking the over on his points at 10.5. This is a goblin demon. So this is a demon prop for Alex Caruso. Gone over 10.5 points in 1, 2, 3 games. In his last 5 games, he's gone over 10.5 points in 3 out of those 5 games. So all that production is coming on the back end of these 10 games. Numbers against Sacramento, not that great. He had 7 points against them back in early Feb. Projected for about 9 points. So yeah, this is a demon prop for a reason. The projections do not have him getting you 10 or more. A few of his games over his last 10 games do show him getting you 10 or 11 basically. This is what he needs for him to go over this line today. It's a risk, but I think it's still a line that's close enough to his original line where you're not, it's not too far out of the realm of possibilities. Like if it was at 13 or something like that stay away from that one. But 10.5 is definitely within reach for Alex Caruso against the Sacramento Kings, who play fast, give up a lot of points per game. You could do worse with a demon line. Definitely put this in a flex. Don't put it in a power play. Flex it. Take advantage of the payout boost that you get for playing a demon. And hopefully you get all 6 or all 5 right. But even if you get 4 out of 5, 5 out of 6, you're still going to get an increased payout. So that's how I would play that one for Alex Caruso. But there are his last 10 games, and there are his last 5 games going over that 10.5 mark in three of those 4 games. All right. So round 2 done. We like the under on Rudy Gobert. Again, me personally, I'm a little hesitant on taking the under on him, especially with the injury news to Ayton and Grant. I mean, it's possible that this game does get out of hand and Rudy Gobert doesn't need to do anything. That's another way he can stay under. Going under on DeAndre Ayton, Sexton, and Colin and Cam Johnson. Look at all these unders. This is the most unders we've had. I think this might be the most unders we've talked about in a stream since I started doing live streams. So there you go. There is round 2 on the board, off the board. Let's do this. All right. If you're just joining the stream, welcome in. Hit the like button on your way in. Means a ton. Helps the channel get bigger every single day. Trying to get to as many of your player prop questions as I possibly can. If I miss them, no hard feelings. It's not personal. Knuckles says, that was a perfect slip. Like the unders. He says, I do what I call a 2-4-4-2 rule, where it's either 2 mores, 4 less, or 2 less and 4 more. So you never go all overs. You never go all unders. You just like to balance it out. Do you correlate? Do you correlate amongst your slips? Do you play multiple players from the same team? Like, do you take 3 unders from the same team or from the same game? Do you target it like that? That is a pretty that's a pretty decent strategy right there. I'm assuming it's working for you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be talking about it in the chat. So it must be bringing you some profit. So that's another way to measure it. If it's a good strategy, are you winning? So I feel like you're winning. I feel like you're winning. All right. D Johnson, what's going on? Good morning. I know work pays for my picks, but it's getting in the way of stream. That's good. It's all good, dude. It's all good. Appreciate you being here. All right. Mel, what's going on? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How was the birthday girl's weekend? How old did she turn? 4? What was it? She turned 4? Let's see what else we got. Links. Kobe White under first half PRA. It's at 16.5 and seems too high. And then Knuckles follows up and says he's a second half player. That's cash. Well, let's take a look at that shit. We'll go over a few more player props. And then let's start getting some plays of the day in I'll put those over in the Discord. So in the Discord, what you're going to have is our plays of the day. You're going to have our screenshotted plays that we broke down in live stream. You're going to have my cheat sheets. You're going to have a few player write-ups. You're going to have so much information over there for you to either start your research or just let that be your research. Maybe you don't have enough time to do your research today, but nonetheless, you'll have a lot of information over there that you can hopefully leverage into making some damn profit today. So let's take a look at the under on Kobe White, 16.5 PRA. People seem to like that one. Exit Sandman, what's going on? Can you shout out my Swedish friend on? Not in this stream. Not in this stream. Check out my OnlyFans. Maybe I'll do it over there. All right, let's see. Carrie says, I like PG over on points. So you like the yeah, we talked about his points earlier today. I think 19.5 is a little too low. And then when you factor in no Westbrook today, I don't know how that cuts into his usage, but it is one less person off the bench. Maybe the starters do run a little longer to, you know, pick up some of that slack off the bench, but I think 19.5 is a little low. I think that gets bumped up to 20 at some point today. Let's take a look at Kobe White, 21.5 points. No, we want to take a look at his first half PRA. And then we go, wow, 5 straight of not even getting you 14. 3 in those games, he's gotten you less than 10, 4, 10 or less. Over his last 10 games, 20% hit rate, 80% hit rate if you look at the other way for the under. And then head-to-head matchup against the Kings. This one looks good. You're not going to get odds on the first half player props, at least not too many of them. This one looks pretty good. I like it. Like it. Yeah. No, that one's solid. Yeah. You want to zoom out a little bit and take a look at what he's done over his last 15 games just to ensure that it's not a fad. Over his last 15 games, he has a 33% hit rate and going over this. And on the year, you can see Kobe White is averaging 14 PRA, having gone over this in just 32% of his games. To back up that, let's take a look at what he's done in the second half, where he has averaged 14.9 PRA on the year, 19.2 PRA over his last 10 games, 17 PRA over his last 5 games, and 19 PRA over his last 15 games. We're talking second half PRA. So yeah, very lopsided production. So real back end heavy. Third and fourth quarters, he seems to pick it up a little bit, but those first 2 quarters, more than likely, he is not involved as heavily, going under that 16.5. So that one makes sense to me. No doubt. I need a fire pair for the white pig. Birthday weekend was cool. She turned 2 and 8. That's awesome. All right. That's a nice one. Who asked to look at that one? Lynx. That's a really good one. Lynx, you wanna put that as your play of the day? I'm gonna put him as a play of the day. But I don't know if you wanted to claim that as your play of the day. That's a pretty strong one. That's a real strong one. I'm going to list Anthony Davis over on his points. 25.5 as my play of the day. I like that one. All right. Let's talk about some plays of the day as we transition into the end of this stream. Appreciate y'all being on live, being so engaging in the chat. Makes it fun for me. Let's talk about some plays of the day. So 6 games on the slate. We got a lot of injury news to look at here. I think Hendrick is a really good play also. I don't know. I forgot who asked about him, but man, that's a that to me is a strong one. considering that they don't have Laurie or Kessler in there. 16.5. It was a 16.5 points and rebounds. All right, so got Kisserick over 27 map 1-2 kills. That is a CS2 play. Kobe White under first half PRA. We got Anthony Davis over points. Taylor Hendricks over 16.5 points and rebounds. Let's see, what else? Hopefully the sound improved over the start of the stream. Hopefully you guys can hear me clearly. But I know y'all will let me know in the stream if you can't. So any other players of the day, I want to take a look at, I want to just re-look at the Paul George points because, oh man, this guy. I feel like when I take Paul George, he goes 2 for 13 from 3, and then he has a migraine at halftime and he doesn't come back. But if we just pay attention to the facts, we just pay attention to the actual numbers that matter, you know, I think we do have to take out Westbrook because that is the current status right now. And 60% hit rate over his last 5 games. Yeah, these go back to last season, but pretty close to the same rotation, pretty close to the same talent on that team. So I don't want to make this my play of the day, but I think this is a good play. I like it more now than when I first saw it. I was like, oh man, Paul George. But this one does look good to me, and it's looking better. It's looking better. Sixo likes Caruso over his points and assists today. I don't think we looked at his points and assists. We did look at his demon points. Points and assists today is at. So listen, if you really, really like Alex Caruso today, if you really are on board with him, and if he plays, here's what you can do. You can play both of these in 2 different slips, because if he gets you 11 points, he goes over his demon points, and he goes over this line on points alone. That's if you feel that strongly about Caruso, because there's no way he can't get both of these if he gets you 11 points. You see? So his points and rebounds are at 11.5. If his points and rebounds are at 10.5, then I would say run these 3 in 3 different slips and pair it up with another player and try to ladder that production, because if he goes over one, he's going over the other 2. It's a fact. So if you like this Caruso one, then play his points and assists too, because that's the same line. We saw his points earlier. We like his points because he's going over his point prop at 8.5 pretty regularly, at least over the last 10 games. But he is going over his demon line as well. So look, in these games, he goes over points and assists, points and assists, points and assists. He goes over that on just points alone. His points and assists today are at 10.5, not 11.5. So let's bring that down. And he's gone over points and assists in 70% of his last 10, 80% of his last 5, 73% of his last 15. And he is on the year averaging 12.6 points and assists for a 67% hit rate. So I think you can ladder that and feel pretty good about that. And if he doesn't get you to if he doesn't get you the 11 points, he's still alive for the 11 points and assist. Let's see. Carrie says NHL under shots on goal. Tyson Forster. There's a 0.29 projection difference. Gilbert says he's rolling with the over on Towns PRA 30.5. If it's still 30.5, I do like that one. Kawhi under 2.5 blocks and steals. That's your play of the day, Cutler. All right. Under 2.5 blocks, steals. Let's take a quick look at this Tyson Forster shots on goal for Carey. And I think we're at a point where we'll wrap this baby up. An hour and 17 minutes. That's Tyler Bertuzzi. Tyson. Well, if I can spell the right person's name. There you go. So you like the under on his shots on goal. Is it still 2.5 on PrizePicks? You're getting -130 odds to the under on this one. He's gone under this in 6 out of his last 10 games. And 2 out of his last 5. His numbers against the St. Louis Blues, he did go over this in 1 game. So that's back in January. When we take a look at his shots on goal projection, you can see it is projected to go around 2. So it's still under. He needs 3 for this to go over. So even if he gets you 2, you're still in good shape. At BetMGM and DraftKings and Caesars all have this under. Heavy juice to the under. So if you're an NHL player or if you are just looking for a solid play to add to your slips with good projections, good game logs, and solid odds across the books, then Tyson Forster under his 2.5 shots on goal is a good one for you to consider. I like that, Carrie. Link said I took the over on Tyson a few days ago and got burned. So definitely taking the under today. I feel that way about my I feel that way about some hockey players too. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings this stream to an end. We are going to call it a morning, call it a day. Appreciate y'all being here. All 30 of you on the stream right now, 32 of you on the stream, hit that like button on your way out if you didn't do it on the way in. Also, consider subbing up to the channel, sharing my channel with somebody you know. Means a ton. Again, if you want extra plays or if you just want more deeper dives, insights into player props, find them over in the Player Prop Discord. Tons of research. Again, if it's just your starting point for research, you could do a lot worse. Probably not much better. There's a lot of information in that Discord that you will get use out of. But if you don't have time to do research, we just did it all for you. So you're welcome. Appreciate y'all being here. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. for another live player prop talk here on the stream. Hopefully we have minimal turds, maximum profit, maximum gains to talk about tomorrow. So wish you all the best. As I always say, I hope all your player props respect the damn coin. I'll let that intro, outro bump a few minutes so you guys can vibe out. And until tomorrow's player prop talk live stream, Chavez is out.